Yeah, Hare Krishna. So till now we covered 5 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, and we are in the sixth chapter. So what are things we covered till now? We covered the foundational concepts. Then the Bhagavad Gita 5 chapters, like in that first chapter name is observing the armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where the Pandavas and Kauravas assembled to fight. Um, the war was about to begin, but at the time, like Arjuna been put into that situation where he could not able to fight. Okay, he was giving these 5 reasons like okay, compassion, enjoyment, fearful of sinful reaction. Then he's fearing like okay, the family tradition will be destroyed, and he is unable to take any decision. Like so, for that reason, he is surrendering to Krishna. He's asking Krishna like to guide him so that he can do the he can he can see like what he can do in the situation because he is unable to take any decision. Okay, so that is how the first chapter ends. In the first chapter, we have seen how the victory been predicted for Pandavas. Okay, various signs for that victory. And what are the different shankas like been used by Pandavas and Krishna? So that we have seen. Then in the second chapter, the Lord explains like all the yogas. So the second chapter name is called Contents of the Gita Summarized. Okay. So where uh, till now Arjuna, whatever he is speaking, like a Krishna listening patiently, and he is starting like okay now that 5 reasons like Arjuna given, he is giving like a no, that is not right, you have to fight okay as a Kshatriya. So he is starting with like a Sankhya philosophy where the analytical study of body and matter, where Krishna says like okay the soul is eternal and it can't be killed, it can't be submerged in the water. So he's giving like a 30 characteristics of the soul and the material body and soul differences like he is giving in the Sankhya philosophy. Then he is just elevating little bit like okay, you have to do your work. Okay, you work and you will get the result, and that result either you enjoy or like a suffer. So do the karma kanda. Okay, Kshatriya, your duty is to fight. If you win, you will get a earthly kingdom. If you lose, you will get the heavenly kingdom. But if you are not fighting, then dishonor would be like a worse than the death for the Kshatriya. So do not like a flee from the battlefield because Arjuna is ready to go and beg in the forest than fighting in the battlefield. But Krishna says, okay, what Arjuna says, if I fight, I will get the sinful reaction. But Krishna is saying here, if you are not fighting, if you are not doing your duty, you will get the sinful reaction. So do your duty. Then Krishna elevating himself into the Buddhi Yoga, like okay, or Nishkama Karma Yoga, where you do the duty, but don't enjoy the result. Don't think okay, you are the reason for that result. Surrender all those things like okay to Krishna. By doing that, you will get two things. One is you will not get any sinful reaction. Then you don't need to take birth in this material world. The birth and death like you can get avoid. So that is what he says. Okay. Then Arjuna is asking, what are the symptoms of the self-realized soul? How he will sit, how he will walk, how he will carry himself like in this material world. For that, um, Krishna says, okay, he will be free from the desire to enjoy the senses. He will have a steady mind. He will know like what is good and evil. Like he will not differentiate. He will have a taste for the devotion services. Okay, he will control his senses, and he will be able to properly properly situated all the time. Like he will not have any likes and dislikes. Like all the thing, he will deal it in a similar manner. Then he says, um, that is what like a Nasti Buddhi Rayuktaksha. One who is not connected to the Krishna consciousness or devotion service, he will not have the steady mind. If he is not having the steady mind, he will not have the peace also. Since he don't have the peace, like okay, he will not have the happiness also. So if we want to have a happiness and a peace, then we need to have the steady mind. For that steady mind, like we have to do the devotion service. That is what the connection would be. Okay, this is how the second chapter ends. Then immediately, like a third chapter, which is called Karma Yoga, Arjuna is asking, like, okay, if renunciation is better, then why you are engaging me in this ghastly warfare? So what Arjuna is thinking, the renunciation as renunciation of the work. But what Krishna says, it is not renunciation of the work, it is renunciation in the work. So Krishna doesn't say that, okay, you don't work. Because what Arjuna's understanding is, if I work, I will get the reaction and I have to suffer or enjoy. If I doesn't work, then I am not going to have any kind of reaction. But Krishna says, no, 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 no. It is not a renunciation of the work. No, it is renunciation in the work. You do the work, whatever results you are getting, you surrender. You renunciate that result only, not the work itself. If you are not working, then you will get a bigger problem, like a bigger sin. So that is how like a Krishna says, okay, even for me as a Krishna, like there is no work dedicated, but I am doing that, like okay, I am doing the work in a perfect manner to set the right example for the future generation. Okay, this is how the King Janaka and all the 12 Mahajans like achieved perfectly, and they set the right example for the future generation. Okay, then he says the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, which is 3.30. He says, okay, work only for Krishna without any self motivation and without envy. Follow the teachings faithfully and free from lethargy. Do all these things, like okay, then you will have the uh, you will not have any bondage in this material world, and you will attain the perfection in a right manner. Okay, this is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, which is say mai sarvani karmani sanyas adhyatma chetasaka nirasir nirmamo bhutva yuddhayasva vigadajvara. Whatever Arjuna asked in the 2.7 karpanya doso, Krishna is answering. Like till now, he is giving all the details, and he is giving the right information, like at the 3.30. Okay, stand up and fight without any enviness, without any self motive, without any lethargy. Okay, but follow my teachings faithfully and like stand up and fight. Then immediately Arjuna having a query. Krishna, like, okay, everyone knows about it, or most of the things, like, hey, they know about it, but why they still commit the sinful activity? For that, Krishna says it is lust only, Arjuna. This lust is like anything which is not connected to Krishna. If you want to achieve something, that is called a lust. If that lust is fulfilled, okay, then it becomes greed. Okay, if I want like okay a mobile phone, I get a mobile phone like a the Apple iPhone. I got it. Then I want to have, after that my desire is fulfilled. Yeah, it is fulfilled. But then it becomes greed. Okay, now I want to have next level of iPhone. Okay, next new model that I need to get it. Likewise, like okay, the fulfilled lust becomes greed. If the lust is unfulfilled, okay, if I am not getting the mobile phone, then I am getting angry. So this how the lust, greed, and anger. These three are the three gateways to the hell. Okay. We all don't want to go to hell at all, correct? So, but these three are the gateways to hell, and we should get away from this particular thing by engaging. And where are the sitting places of this lust? Okay, it is the senses, mind, intelligence, all these things, all these places, like the lust will sit, and we have to be very mindful, like to not to have the lust, greed, and anger in the sense, mind, and the intelligence. So by doing that, like okay, we are safeguarding our soul. Okay, that is how we can conquer the lust, by regulating the senses, by engaging our consciousness into Krishna consciousness. Like we will be able to conquer the lust. So this is how the third chapter ends. Then the fourth chapter, which is called transcendental knowledge. Then Krishna says, okay, this knowledge is transcendental, which I explained to sun god Vivaswan. Then Vivaswan explained to Manu. Okay, Manu explained to Ikshwaku. Then over a period of time, like okay, this knowledge, the disciplic succession been broken, and whenever there is a decline in religion and irreligious practice like a predominant, I will appear millennium after millennium. That is what like the yada yada gidharmasya glanir bhavadi bharada abhyudhana madharmasya tadatmanam srijamyakam paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskradam dharma samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So at the time, I appear millennium after millennium. Then he says, okay, it is very, very easy. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvadaga tattvadegam punarjanma naitimam etiso arjuna. So if anyone don't want to take any birth in this material world, okay, then what they have to do? Very, very simple. They have to think about me. They have to uh, read about like okay, my pastime. So Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Because if we take birth, we die, that is normal, correct? Like another living entity. But when Krishna takes birth, it is not even birth, okay? Krishna appears and disappears, okay? So that is becoming a glory. That becomes a pastime, okay? So that is the reason whenever we read about like, okay, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, then remember all those things like then we don't need to take birth in this material world at all, okay? That is as simple as that. So that is what we have to do in our daily life. Okay. Then he is talking about the karma, akarma, and vikarma. Karma is prescribed action. So we do some activity, we get the result, whether we enjoy or we suffer. Okay, that is what karma. Akarma means we do the activity, whatever result we are getting, we will surrender to the Lord. By doing that, we will not have any reaction. Okay, that is what akarma. Then what is vikarma? It is forbidden action. Whatever mentioned in the scripture, against that, if you are doing, that becomes vikarma. Okay, that shouldn't be we doing. Okay, that is how the relation between karma, akarma, and vikarma. So we have to perform vikarma or akarma.
कर्मा प्रभु.
Akarma, very good. Okay, so we have to perform the akarma. So then he is telling about the various type of varnashrama, varna and ashrama. Okay, Lord created in the varna and ashrama, like okay, created Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra, and Vaishya, and Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So whichever ashrama we do, like okay, what are the sacrifices being given, like so that is what being explained further. Okay. Uh, so for each varna and ashrama, like there is a various prescribed duty and various sacrifices. Okay, that we have seen. Then in the fifth chapter, which is called Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, where initially, like he says again the same third chapter question, like Arjuna is asking, where renunciation is better or like a work in devotion is better. He told, okay, both give the same result, but the time taken might be different. Like that is what we have seen. Going from floor 1 to 100, like okay, we can go by steps or we can go by lift. The time taken like differs. So going by lift is like a faster and a safer. But going by steps is like okay, it will take longer time and there may be trouble okay on the passage. The similar way, doing devotional service easy and assured and guaranteed. Okay, but going via the empirical knowledge and okay, I will see like a whatever mentioned in the scripture. Let me experience it. I need to have the proof. Then it will take longer time and we may fall down on the passage. Okay, so then he says, okay, the results of how the Nishkama Karma Yoga we have to perform. Then the Ashtanga Yoga, like how Ashtanga Yoga has to be performed. He given the glimpse of it, okay? How to achieve the perfection by doing the Nishkama Karma Yoga, then by doing the Ashtanga Yoga that we have seen. In that Ashtanga Yoga, like Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, the samadhi state like so that is what been explained. Then the peace formula been explained like bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloha maheshwaram sugurdam sarvabhutanam nyatva mam santim ruchati. So the benefactor and beneficiary both are Krishna. Okay, he is because he is the controller of everyone and he is the proprietor of everyone. Okay, once we are able to, and he is the supreme friend of all. Once we are able to surrender to him, and once we are able to understand this concept, like then we can have the peace in our life, like all the time. Okay, this is what we saw in the fifth chapter. Then the sixth chapter. What is the name of the sixth chapter?
ध्यान योग प्रभु।
Dhyana Yoga, very good, Prabhu. Like the Dhyana Yoga, how advancing yoga in the through the detached work. Like okay, there is two thing explained. Okay, Yoga Ruruda and Yoga Ruruksha. Like okay, it's two things. That is, we will see. Like okay, further stage like how it is going and how we can control the turbulent mind and the destination of unsuccessful yogi like someone who would be performing but they may not achieve the perfection in this life. What will happen? Okay, that question also Arjuna asks. For that Krishna says okay, then the topmost yogi, who is the topmost yogi? Okay, this is what we will see it in the in this chapter. So we have seen till 1 and 2. Let's start from the third sloka. Okay, so for 1 and 2, what has been mentioned? Sannyasa and yoga are the same. Yoga means, okay, we have to do all these things and we have to connect to the Lord. What is the meaning of yoga? Connecting oneself to the Supreme. Okay, the sannyasa is you relinquish all the, not the work, but the results of the work and you connect to the Lord. Okay, for both demand, detachment from the desire for sense gratification. So, both the places, sannyasa and yoga, we shouldn't have any sense gratification or desire to achieve something for the self. We should not have. That is what, like, have been mentioned. So, third and fourth, like, let's see now. Till now, any doubt, any query, please feel free to ask. So third sloka, Hare Krishna. Arurukshormuniryoham karma karanamujyate yogarurudashya tasyaiva samaha karanam mujyate. Or rukshoho, okay, one who just began the yoga. So we have seen in the yoga like two stages are there. One is rurukshu The another one is like, okay, Ruruda stage, Ruruda, okay, Aruruda, okay. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, that the eightfold is like a Yama, Niyama, Asana, that is what the Ashtanga Yoga. One who is a neophyte, what is the meaning of neophyte? He is just a beginner, okay, he is just starting the first class of like a yoga. Work is said to be the means, okay. If one who is going to start the yoga, if you go and go to him and
Exactly.
say that, no, you have to relinquish everything, you have to reach the samadhi state, he will not be able to understand, he will not be able to do anything. For him, you have to work whatever thing you are doing, like, hey, please continue to do, and you think about, okay, these are the eight stages, and slowly, like, you gradually attain to the samadhi state. That is the right way of doing it, okay. Start from the start itself, we can't take 10 steps, like to move step 1 to step 10 or like 100. He has to take from step 1 to step 2, step 3, likewise, like a gradually it has to be increased, okay. So work is said to be the means, and for one who is already elevated in the yoga, who is in the samadhi state, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Okay, one who is in the samadhi state, or the sannyasa stage, or the yoga ruruda stage, for him he don't need to do work, because he will continue to do the work by disengagement from the material world. Hope everyone is able to understand. Because from the starting stage, you can't immediately attain the samadhi state. He has to work, he has to understand, okay, there is a samadhi state. Before samadhi, I have to follow all these eightfold yoga system. Yama, what I have to do. Niyama, what I stop to do. Niyama, like what I have to do. Then Yama, Niyama, Asana, how I have to sit. uh, Yama, Niyama, Asana, uh, pranayama, how I have to control my breath in the body. So likewise, gradually he has to elevate. Not like, okay, from the start itself, okay, I will go to the samadhi state, I will not do any work, let me just sit idle. No, that is not what yoga teaching about. Yeah, yoga teaching about, for the initial stage of the guys, like, okay, the work is said to be the means. They have to work, they have to think about all these things. Then for the samadhi state, like the advanced yoga people, for them, the material activities, like it has to be completely cessated. They have to stop everything, because they have to disengage from the material world. So that is what been mentioned in the third sloka. The fourth sloka. Yada hinendriyarteshu na karmas anusajjate सर्वसंकल्प सन्यासी योगारुरुदस तदोच्यते. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when, having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. So, whom we can call as the advanced stage of yogi, or yoga ruruda stage, is one who renounced all material desires. Though he is alive in this material world, he doesn't want anything in this material world. He always like a find happiness within himself, because he is able to connect to the super soul within us. Which super soul in all of us? How super soul is represented in every one of us.
Which Shirodakshai Vishnu.
Yeah, Kshirodakashai Vishnu is there in each and every one of us. Okay. So he always connect, okay, I am not the body. I don't want any enjoyment for this perishable body. I want to have like the permanent happiness, which I will connect, which I will think about. Okay, I am the soul. I am going to connect to the Supreme Lord, which is who is sitting in me. Okay, that is what tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaga tadvidi pranipatena. So he will see everyone in he will give the respect to everyone. Okay, because he's able to see um the living entity, all the Kshirodakashai Vishnu is present in every one of us. So he will give the respect to everyone and he will never expect any respect from anyone. Okay. So he will not have any material desire. He neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. He will not engage in any fruitive. What do you mean by fruitive activities? You work and you get the fall, correct? Like okay, you will get the result and that result you enjoy or you suffer, but he will not have um, any requirement or like any desire for the sense gratification or fruitive activities. These two slokas like everyone is able to understand. Any questions?
Yes,
Hi.
regarding that,
Yeah, sorry.
regarding Ashtanga Yoga, what you
Yeah,
mentioned, when you connect to the daily life, isn't it like whatever, like you're going to work, if you're a student, you're studying, that is all your job, like where you attain, moksha or the results will come out later, yeah?
yeah, correct.
Is it like, can we say that, okay, the normal life, what we're living itself is Ashtanga Yoga?
uh
Because we talk about yama, niyama, and other
yeah,
things.
correct,
Whereas
correct.
in life, you're going to the office. If you're a student, you go to the school. Yeah. So there are rules. I mean, not like olden time when you get up in the morning, say Gayatri, evening Sandhya Vandana, and things like that. So
Yeah,
is it comparable and is it connectable?
it is not fully connectable, Prabhu. Why I'm saying is okay, uh if you want to be in a yoga ruruda stage, you have to completely disengage. Okay, at least maximum time out of it, like you need to disengage or you should not have any desire for the fruitive activities. But at a work, we are working, okay, we will expect the result. If you are not connected to Krishna, then what expect? Okay, I do the work. Okay, me, my, that will be predominant. Okay, I am studying. I have to get good marks. Okay, I am working. I have to get appreciation. I have to get promotion. I have to get increment. Okay, so then the self engagement, the desire for sense gratification. Okay, I have to get good increment so that like I can get good car, I can get good house. So my me I will be predominant. Okay, point number one. Point number two, that is called fruitive activities. But in yoga, even at the very early stage, you should curb the sense gratification and you should curb the fruitive activities. It is at the end of the day, like it is consciousness and it is realization. Okay, you don't need to sit um, uh, in the yoga stage all the time, like a 24/7. Okay, I have to sit in this position. No, sometime even at work you are able to practice the yoga because you are able to realize Krishna. So that is the reason, like sometimes the Ashtanga yoga, it may not be applicable for this particular Kali Yuga, because the Ashtanga yoga was so appropriate and so possible to practice in the Satya Yuga. But in this yuga, all may not be able to practice Ashtanga Yoga all the 24 bar 7, but the devotional service or chanting the holy name of the Lord is possible every moment of our life. By sitting in the office, we are going to chant like in our mind, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it is possible, which is what prescribed for this Kali Yuga. Okay. Hope I answered your question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So if you think only in the work, like, okay, if there is no me, my, I am doing it for Krishna, I surrender all the results to Krishna, then it becomes the devotion service. It has become like okay better than the Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, but at the same time, if you're having like a self-satisfied, okay, I do the work. Okay, I am the reason for this great achievement. Then it becomes like okay fruitive activities. Okay, so I think Niradam,
Okay, I have a question. Yeah,
yes,
I
yes,
wanted
Swaji,
to
yeah,
ask you.
yeah, please.
I'm so sorry I couldn't join because my
No, no,
net
that is
was
fine. That is
acting
fine. Yeah,
funny. So
yeah, yeah.
I missed the beginning. I had a net problem. But two questions actually. I had a doubt. I mean, I wanted you to, if you could just quickly explain the same sloka that you just discussed. It would be great. Secondly, I mean, since the conversation happened just now, I wanted to clarify one thing. Okay, so you go to office, you do your best and everything, and then like still the company doesn't give you an increment, for instance, for any reason. So should you just like say, okay, should you even go and ask them or just like ignore it and then like, wait for things to happen by themselves?
No, see, for the work you have done, you
Mm.
you have the right to ask the management, okay, because uh, it is the appreciation has to come to Krishna. Like if you ask in that manner, it becomes devotion service. Okay, so that I get the good increment, so that like I am able to take care of the family which has been given by Krishna like in a better manner, and I can do and I can donate like a more towards society and towards like okay the devotion service. So in that aspect, like you have to go and ask like if there is i- injustice being like a sent to you, not for your own self, because at the end of the day like your consciousness will demand okay I am not doing it for myself, I am doing it for Krishna, so I need to get that appreciation. Not I, but Krishna or that particular super soul has to get that appreciation. If you think that okay uh, you did good and you didn't get the right acknowledgement or right appreciation, and others got it like okay though they didn't do it properly, then you can go and ask them like okay uh, not for your own self motive or self this one, but to Krishna, like okay, because you have to be mindful and you have to be correct in whatever we are doing. So in that manner, like a having a candid conversation with the management or like your manager is right. Okay, not for your own self appreciation, but to Krishna, because at the end of the day, we don't want to set an example. Okay, since he is a Krishna consciousness person, he don't want anything for himself. Okay, whatever we give he will accept it. No, we don't want to set that example either in this particular um, material world. Okay, so hope I answered your second question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So you have to have from the outside it may look as if like you are asking your own for your own benefit, but internally like that consciousness you are doing it for Krishna. Okay, because everything when we are connecting to Krishna, when we are remembering Krishna, it becomes devotional service. That's all. It is simple. Okay, if you are not remembering Krishna, if you are not connecting with Krishna, it becomes like okay the fruitive activities. If you are remembering Krishna, if you are able to do it for Krishna, then it becomes devotional activity. Okay, this is what the thing. Your first question, like you want to have the explanation for this sloka or the previous one?
Sorry, my mic was on mute. I was talking. Okay. The one where you said that super soul is there and everything. No, that one I missed. I didn't understand actually.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, See, we
What did you say about the super soul thing? You gave a specific name for it.
yeah, yeah, super soul. Okay, fine. That we have covered it in the foundational slides. Okay,
Okay.
this we have we are not the body, that you are agreeing, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the connection may disconnect now. Like, please rejoin. So we are not the body; we are the soul. Correct? The
Yes.
soul's size, you know very clearly, like a from the tip of the hair, like you cut
Yes.
by
1/10,000 times of the
exactly.
tip of the
Okay.
hair
So
strand.
that is the soul we are. Okay, we all are soul, but we are not the body. We don't have the soul. We are the soul. Okay, we are the
Mm.
soul. In every one of us, okay, we have the super soul present. The super soul also the similar size.
Mm.
Okay, in every one of us, the super soul is present in the Vishnu form. Okay, there are three
Mm.
Vishnus are there, correct? There are
Mm.
three Vishnus are there. One is Karna Udagashai Vishnu or Mahavishnu. Then Shira Udagashai Vishnu. Hare Krishna. So, so what I was saying is like, okay, well, let me quickly go through the foundational slides because foundational slides are so important. Um,
Mm.
I think like it would be good for everyone to revise. Okay. Um, so the yuga time duration, like the Sanatana Dharma describes four yugas of the dharmic ages. That super soul, like just park it for some time. I will come like in the foundational slide itself. Okay.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the Kali Yuga which we are in, it is the time duration of Kali Yuga is like a 4,32,000 years. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
The before the Yuga, that is a Dwapara Yuga. That Dwapara Yuga is 4,32,000 into 2. Okay.
8
Then
lakh
before that
64.
Treta Yuga is 4,32,000 into 3. Okay. That is what 1296. Okay. Then
Mm.
the Satya Yuga is Kali Yuga into 4, okay, which is 4,32,000 into 4. That is what 17 to 28, okay. In
Mm.
just the Satya Yuga is like a 4 times of the Kali Yuga time. Treta Yuga is like a 3 times of the Kali Yuga. Dwapara Yuga is like a 2 times of the Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga is like a 4,32,000. Satya Yuga is like a long and span. And Kali Yuga is like a shortened span. So from Satya to Treta and Dwapara and Kali Yuga, the time duration like a diminishes. Okay. This is what 4 Yuga. So the life of Brahma. So Brahma lives for uh, 100 celestial years. That
Mm.
100 celestial years equivalent to 311 trillion 40 billion years. Okay, this is what the lifetime of Brahma. Brahma's position is not fixed. Okay, you can become Brahma, I can become Brahma if we do the devotion service in a perfect manner. Okay, so current Brahma, each Brahma's lifetime is 311 trillion 40 billion years, and there is no only one Brahma for each universe. One Brahma is there. Okay, there are n number of universes that we will see in the upcoming slides. So the Brahma's lifetime can be decoded into Divya Yuga. Okay, one Divya Yuga is equivalent to one Satya plus one Treta and one plus one Dwapara and one Kali Yuga all together. So if you see 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, okay, which is how much? 10. 10 into
Mm.
4.3, 4 lakh 32,000, which is called 4.32 million years is one Divya Yuga. Okay. Then what is one Manvantara? 71 Divya Yugas are equal to one Manvantara, which is 306 million years. Then what is Kalpa? Kalpa is one day of Brahma, which is 4.32 billion years. Okay, which is called 14 Manvantara and 15 Sandhyas. Sandhyas is like the leftover period in that particular thing. So let us not go to that. Uh, and each day of Brahma, once it is done, the same time duration will be night of Brahma also. Then the partial devastation will happen. It will be able to, this slide will help you to understand very clearly. So this we prepared, okay, Yuga, uh, time in human years, like a comments. So Kali Yuga one time, Dwapara two times of Kali Yuga, Treta three times, like a Satya and Krita Yuga is like a four times of Kali Yuga. So one Divya Yuga equal to one Kali plus one Dwapara and one Treta and one Satya Yuga, which is equal to 4,32,000 into like a 10 times, which is 4.32 million years. Then one day of Brahma, which is 12 hours, equal to 1,000 Divya Yugas. So 1000 into this 4.32 million, which is 4.32 billion. That is what one day of Brahma. Then one night of Brahma is same as day, but there is no Divya Yuga, like a Kali, Dwapara, Treta, and Satya will not occur. But the time duration will be there. Okay, but the it would be like, okay, it would be idle state, but still the same 4.32 billion years. So Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come only once in a full day of Brahma. Okay, so once every 1000 mahayugas. Okay, we are very very fortunate because Krishna just appeared around 5000 years ago. In one day of Brahma, one day plus one night of Brahma, like a only one time Krishna comes. Okay. In the 8.64 billion years, Krishna comes only one time, and we just like a seen Krishna around 5500 years ago. In the 8.64 billion years. Then how fortunate we are. Correct? Then 1 year of Brahma is 3.11 trillion years, and 100 years of Brahma is 311 40 billion years. Are you able to understand this calculation?
Yes, yes,
It would
but
be
it's
difficult to
lot
digest.
of numbers.
Yeah, it would be difficult to digest like the first grasp, but once you go through slowly, like you will be able to understand. If you have any queries, like please reach out to me anytime. Okay, this is very very clear. Okay, this is what this Brahma's lifetime equal to 100 celestial years equal to 311 trillion 40 billion years. This is the one time taken for Mahavishnu to inhale and exhale. Mahavishnu is inhaling and exhaling like a, this is what the time of this 311 trillion 40 billion years. Are we able to imagine? It is beyond our imagination, correct? Okay. Um, so let's go into the Yuga Dharma. Okay. So in Satya Yuga, people Satyuga lost for 4,32,000 into 4, correct? But the common individual each living entity's lifespan is around 1 lakh years. Okay, the good and bad between universes, that is where like okay the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu was there, like okay in the Satyuga. Okay, the good was there in one universe and bad was there in another universe, like a good and bad was between the universe. Okay, and what is a prescribed duty like to attain the Lord? It is meditation on Lord Vishnu. That is what meditation was prescribed method to reach the Lord in the Satya Yuga. Okay, then in the Treta Yuga, the things were like a diminishing. The common people's lifetime from 1 lakh years to 10,000 years. And good and bad wars between countries. Okay, that is where the Sri Lanka and India, like okay, the Bharatvarsh, the Sita was kidnapped like by Ravana, correct? Then performing sacrifices was prescribed. How Dasara Maharaj like okay, got the his four sons because by doing the yajna, correct? Like by doing the sacrifices, that is what prescribed. Then in the Dwapara Yuga, it is further diminishing. Like the common people lifetime is like a 10,000 years. Good and bad was like a between families. Here where like okay the Pandavas and Kauravas, they are in the same universe, they are in the same country, but like it is between the family, correct? Then what is a prescribed duty to achieve the Lord? It is elaborate temple worship, like okay the deity worship was mentioned. Then in the Kali Yuga, the lifespan is further reduced okay to 100 years, and now like it would be at the end of the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga lasts for 4,32,000 years. In that we just how many years like we passed around 5,000 years only like we passed. Then you see like a how degraded it is going to be. 4,32,000 years, out of which 5,500 only like a been passed. Then it is going to get worse. Okay, good and bad is same person. I am good in some time, the similar person like will be bad in the immediate next time, correct? So good and bad is in the same person. Then everything is impure, nothing is pure. only Lord's name, holy name, like has a purity. That is the reason they say like this as a Nama Yuga, and we have to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, because this mantra is called Maha Mantra, and it is so powerful, and we don't need like any rules and regulation to chant this mantra. You can, if you want to chant Gayatri, like you have to wear the Brahminical thread, you have to sit in a place, you have to like take the bath, you have to have like a lot of rules and regulations. So only Brahmana can chant, only like initiated devotee can chant. But the Maha Mantra, anyone and everyone can chant, like and it can be chanted like while you are taking bath, or while you are like walking, while you are sleeping, all the time. So that is the reason it is called Maha Mantra. Okay. So in this, any doubt, any query? Because these foundational slides, like you will never be able to see, like because this is we composed like by referencing various scripture and various like the lectures. So please like have these foundational slides registered in your mind all the time. It will be very very helpful. Okay, this Krishna and expansions, like this is little um, in detail. Okay, let's go. So Krishna uh, in the Vrindavan, okay, Goloka Vrindavan, where he is there, he will be in the very simple form, in the two-handed form, and with Gopas and Gopis. Like that is what Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. Then below that, like there would be a Gokul where Krishna would be like playing with his friends, with Balram. So from Krishna, like Balram is the first avatar. Okay. So from Balram, the first Chaturyuga will come. Okay, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. From that Sankarshana, like the second avatar will come. Like so, this Vasudeva and Aniruddha will be in the Mathura Dham, and see Goloka Vrindavan is on topmost. Like below that Gokul, below this Mathura, below that Dwaraka. Okay, in the Dwaraka, Sankarshana and Pradyumna, and from that Sankarshana, like the second Lord Narayana comes. Like from that Narayana, the second Chaturyuga will come. Again, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, and Pradyumna and Aniruddha, all of them are like represented in the Vaikunta planet. Like so Vaikunta, where the Lord will be like so opulent. So from there, like they will come to the Brahma Jyoti. Okay, that is Purusha avatar. So then in the Purusha avatar, the first Purusha avatar is like a Mahavishnu or Karna Udagashai Vishnu, that we will see in the upcoming slide. And from him, like a Garbhodagashai Vishnu will come. From him, like the Shirodagashai Vishnu will come. Okay. From the Shirodagashai Vishnu, all the Leela avatars will happen. Okay. Which is the Narada, Vajra, okay, and Naranarayana, Kardama Muni, Kapila Muni, like likewise. Then Guna avatar. Guna avatar is like a Lord represented in three guna: mode of goodness as Vishnu, mode of passion as Brahma, mode of ignorance as Lord Shiva. Okay, Lord Shiva is a very important tattva, though he is in charge of mode of ignorance, but he is not impacted by the mode of ignorance. Okay, Lord Shiva is as good as like Lord Krishna, because Lord Shiva is not a position. All other or like a position. The Brahma is a position, and other this one is like a position, but Vishnu, Shiva, and Krishna, they are not position, they are the similar one. Okay. So then the Satyaveksha avatar is there. Okay, where Lord empowers like a many individual beings into like performing the devotional service. Then Yuga avatar, like Satya Yuga, he comes in white. In Dwapara, sorry, Treta Yuga, like he comes in red, and in Dwapara Yuga he comes in dark blue, and in the Kali Yuga he comes in like the yellowish. Okay. Then Manvantara avatars are the like various Manvantara avatars. So likewise, like all the avatars are happening in each universe, like every now and then. Now also like you may see Krishna will be like taking in some avatar. Okay. So this is what the representation. Then comes like this how the whole material world represents. Vaikunta will be like how, and in the Goloka Vrindana, like how the representation would be. Okay. This is what Mahavishnu, like which we are talking. See, Mahavishnu, he lies in like in the casual ocean. Like that is the reason it is called Karna Udakashai Vishnu. So from his pores, each universes are floating. Okay. This inhale and exhale only the lifetime of each Brahma, like that lifetime is 311 trillion 40 billion years. So Mahavishnu inhales and exhales, like that is one universe forming and dissolving. Correct? So in each universe, like there is another Vishnu is there, okay, who is called Garbhodakashai Vishnu. So from that Garbhodakashai Vishnu, his uh, nearby the lotus feet, like okay, the Lakshmi Devi is like okay massaging, and from he is sleeping on the Ananta Shesh. Correct? If you go to Padmanabha Swami temple in Trivandrum, you can see in the Garbhodakashai Vishnu form where the Lakshmi Devi is like a present in his lotus feet, and from his navel, like okay, the Lord Brahma comes, like okay, the four-headed Brahma. Okay, in the current universe, like in our universe, the Brahma is four-headed. In multiple other universes, like he may be 10-headed, he may be like 100-headed, etc., etc. Okay, so then from that Garbhodakashai Vishnu, then the Kshirodakashai Vishnu will come. So from that Kshirodakashai Vishnu, he is present in each and every atom, every living entity. Okay, if you see here, the Brahmana is there, the tiger, lion, okay, then the beggar is there, like all of them. In every one of them, Lord is presented as Paramatma, as a Kshirodakashai Vishnu. This is what I was saying, Mataji. Like, okay, so the Kshirodakashai Vishnu is present in every one of us. So that is the reason we should never disrespect anyone. We should never have enmity with anyone. We should always like have friendship towards everyone, because it is Krishna, like who is present in every one of us as a Kshirodakashai Vishnu in every atom. Okay. Then comes the Krishna's quality. Okay. Jiva or Brahma has 50 qualities. Okay. Shiva has 54 qualities in full. Vishnu has 60 qualities in full. Okay. Only Krishna has, we have seen ஆய கலைகள் 64. Okay, correct, 64 qualities. In that 64 qualities, Krishna has four qualities like which no one else has. What is that four quality? That is Leela Madhuri. Okay, is a performer of wonderful varieties of pastime. Does anyone heard like okay, Vishnu Leela or Shiva Leela or any other demigods Leela? No, it is Krishna Leela. Okay, he is a performer of all the pastimes. Okay, starting from childhood till like okay young youth, at the end of like okay every time he performs the Leela. Okay, then he's a Bhakta Madhuri. He's surrounded by devotees, endowed with like a wonderful love of God. He always surrounded with like okay, Gopas and Gopis and with Pandavas and like okay, all the time he's surrounded by devotees. Then Venu Madhuri. If the flute, like if Krishna starts playing, then everyone will come into mesmerized state. All the living beings or moving things like will become unmoving things. Okay, that much they will get attracted to the flute of Krishna. Okay, then Rupa Madhuri, like he has a wonderful excellence of beauty which cannot be rival like okay, anywhere in the creation. What is the meaning of Krishna?
Which is very attractive and
Yeah,
beautiful.
all attractive. Like, okay, it is not only very attractive, it is all attractive. Anything which you see in this material world, it comes from Krishna. Okay, that is the reason he is Rupa Madhuri. So this Leela, Bhakta Madhuri and Venu Madhuri and Rupa Madhuri are like a four unique qualities only Krishna possesses. Okay, then our purpose of human life is like the animal also doing eating, mating, defending and sleeping. We also do. But what differentiate like us from animals is humans have the higher intelligence. humans have a discriminating power, and humans have a reasoning power. By using that, like we have to do the devotion service. Okay, how to attain abode of Krishna? The present body is like, okay, it is nirantara, it is sorry, nirananda. Okay, it is always misery, it is achit, okay, it is ignorance, and it is asat, which is temporary. Okay, so that is the reason, like we are in this as long as we are in this material body, we will have like a the birth and death. But the Krishna or the supreme world, the spiritual world is, it is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledge, Ananda means like a bliss. So we have to do the devotional service to go from the material world to the spiritual world. Okay, then the 14 planetary system is like, okay, we have the logos are Satya, Tapa, Jana, Mahar, Swarg, and Bhuvar. Then Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. Okay, these are the seven lower planetary system. Like these are the six upper planetary system, and the Earth is like, okay, in between. Okay, four things are common in this world. Okay, birth, death, old age, and disease, starting from Brahma to the ant. Okay, everyone has to go through this particular thing. No escape from that. So, if we want to escape from this material world, then we have to do the devotion service. Then we can go to the spiritual world where there is no birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay, which is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Then Bhagavad Gita, any sloka, if you take, it talks about five topics, okay, which is called Ishvara. It is talking about Ishvara, or it is talking about Jiva, the living entity. Okay, then Prakriti, then Kala and Karma. In this, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, and Kala, all four are eternal, but only Karma is non-eternal. That is the reason, like, hey, we can change our karma and we can go back to the spiritual world. Okay. Then divisions of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, like 18 chapters are there. Chapter 1 to 6, like talking about Karma Yoga. 7 to 12, talking about Bhakti Yoga. And 13 to 18, like talking about Jnana Yoga. So this is what been the classified. Um, so the division of 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, like Dhritarashtra spoke the first verse only one, and Sanjaya spoke like, okay, spoke 41 verses. Arjuna spoke like, okay, 83 verses, and predominantly like it has been spoken by Krishna. That is the reason it is called Bhagavad Gita. It is a song of the God. Okay. Then, though the context it was spoken on the war field, but the content was life, how to live our life. Like, never it promotes the violence. That is very important. So, Ekam Sastram Devaki Putra Gitam, Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva, Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani, Karmapi Egam Tasya Devasya Seva. So, there is only one scripture, like which is called Devaki Putra. Who is Devaki Putra? It is Krishna. Devaki Putra Gita, Eko Deva Devaki Putra Eva. There is only one Lord, like, okay, which is Krishna, and Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani. There is only Maha Mantra, like which is called Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Karmapi ekam tasya devasya seva. There is only one seva, like which is the devotion service to that supreme. Then it doesn't promote violence, like because ahimsa in Gita, hardly any verses on purpose, like on war or violence. Okay, that has to be understood. Gita teaches us what is good, bad, like how to talk, how to eat, how to create, how to give, how to think about, how what to offer, how to focus on goal, how to live, like everything it is explaining. The jewel box, like the jewel will be kept like in the center, the similar manner. The Bhakti Yoga been going to be said in the 7 to 12 chapters. Okay. The first six chapters are Karma Yoga, the next six chapters are Bhakti Yoga, and like a last six chapters are Jnana Yoga. Okay. Yeah. Then it is talking about peace formula, happiness formula, art of dealing with dualities, like forgiving God. So all these things like been explained in Bhagavad Gita. So the essence of the essence, like been mentioned in 9.34, like which is called Manmanabhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mam Eme Satyam Te Pratijane Priyosime. So that we will see in the ninth chapter. So these are the foundational chapters, like a foundational concept, which we can see, like it is talking about again that five topics, which is Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So Bhakti Yoga is like a love towards the Lord. Dhyana Yoga is like a meditation. Karma Yoga is like a via work. And Jnana Yoga is like a via the knowledge. So again, like the stages of Bhakti is mind, intelligence, and the body. Like all those things has to be um, like we have to do the devotion service by our mind, our intelligence, and body. Then these are like the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, yeah, which we have seen already. Any doubt? Hare Krishna. Hope this foundational slides like a would be helpful. I hope I already forwarded. If not, like I will forward again. Please go through this and like have it registered in your mind.
Yeah, please resend. I just texted you actually.
Yeah,
Please
yeah, sure,
resend
sure.
because I don't have it in my chats.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I will send it like a this foundational slides so that everyone can go through this. Hare Krishna.
Sure.
I think we are done on time. If no further queries, like we are good to close. Please revise the topic and have a wonderful weekend and week ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.